Welcome to our deep dive into the future of central bank digital currency, or CBDCs. We're already hurtling towards a cashless society, faster than a hamster on a wheel after a double espresso. Every tap of your phone, every online purchase, it's all digital. But CBDCs? They're not just about replacing the cash in your pocket. They could fundamentally reshape how we interact with money. Over the next few minutes, we'll be dissecting the potential benefits and the looming drawbacks of CBDCs. This is about power. This is about control. This is important stuff, people. Let's start with the potential good stuff, shall we? Proponents of CBDCs argue that they could revolutionize financial inclusion. Imagine a world where even the most remote corners of the globe have access to secure digital financial services. Suddenly, millions, potentially billions of people who've been excluded from the traditional financial system could find themselves empowered to participate in the global economy. Of course, we're talking about complex issues here. Access to technology, digital literacy, and the ever-present digital divide, these are all hurdles that need to be addressed. But the potential for CBDCs to level the financial playing field, well, that's something worth exploring. Now, let's talk about efficiency. We live in a world obsessed with speed and convenience, right? We want our lattes delivered yesterday and our online orders shipped before we even click purchase. Imagine a world where cross-border payments happen instantaneously, where transaction fees are a distant memory. That's the promise of CBDCs, a world where financial transactions are as frictionless as ordering your 15th add-to-cart impulse buy of the day. Next up, let's talk about the big dogs, the central banks. CBDCs could give central banks a whole new set of tools to play with. Imagine being able to fine-tune interest rates with surgical precision or implement economic stimulus packages with the click of a button. But with great power comes the potential for, well, you know the rest. Chapter 4, the privacy paradox. On the one hand, CBDCs could offer greater transparency in transactions, potentially making it harder for criminals to launder money. But here's the rub. CBDCs could also give governments and central banks an unprecedented level of insight into our spending habits. Finding the right balance between security and individual privacy, that's going to be the tightrope walk of the century. Chapter 5, Blockchain Bonanza. Underpinning this whole CBDC revolution is the mind-boggling world of blockchain technology. It's the technology that makes Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies possible, and it has the potential to make CBDCs incredibly secure and efficient. But the technology is still evolving. We're in the Wild West days of blockchain, which means there are going to be challenges. Chapter 6, Regulation Rodeo. Governments around the world are scrambling to catch up, trying to figure out how to wrangle this digital bucking bronco. How do you prevent money laundering and terrorist financing in a world of digital cash? How do you ensure the stability of the financial system? We're talking about a fundamental reshaping of the global financial system here, people. Chapter 7. Adoption Anxiety. CBDCs are a radical departure from traditional currency. They require a certain level of trust in governments and technology, which, let's be honest, isn't exactly in abundant supply these days. Will people be willing to ditch their physical cash, their credit cards, their beloved loyalty programs for a digital wallet controlled by their local central bank? That remains to be seen. It's going to take a massive effort in education, outreach, and maybe even a catchy jingle or two to convince the average person on the street that CBDCs are the way of the future. Chapter 8. The Global CBDC Arms Race. As countries around the world race to develop their own CBDCs, the geopolitical landscape could shift dramatically. Imagine a world where the balance of financial power is no longer determined by who has the most aircraft carriers, but by who has the most advanced digital currency. We're talking about the potential for a new era of financial competition, one with the potential to reshape global trade, international relations, and maybe even the way we think about money itself. Buckle up, everyone, because the future of finance is about to get interesting. Iltro the future of finance, one digital brick at a time. So, there you have it. Will CBDCs usher in a new era of financial inclusion and efficiency, or will they erode our privacy and give governments unprecedented control over our financial lives? Honestly, at this point, it's anyone's guess. The future of CBDCs is still being written, and it's a story with the potential to be either incredibly boring or utterly terrifying.